So we got some banger information coming out about that former Sweet Baby Inc. employee Hashimoto, whatever his name is. Apparently, Smash JT sent me this video, and I decided just to go to that Park Place because it was all compiled anyway. But Smash JT had sent me a video about that person's Twitch stream. And if you watch that person's Twitch stream, they actually openly admit that developers did not want to hire him because he worked for Sweet Baby Inc. It is amazing information, and it proves that the reputation of Sweet Baby Inc. is not very good anymore.
Because we're boring! We're so fucking boring!
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think the reputation for the company was good at all, that, just being honest with you. But ultimately, once that company was discovered and other consultancy companies were discovered and people realized what they were doing in the gaming industry and how they were racially grifting for profit, I think it's pretty much safe to say that their job has become a lot harder and they cannot sell their lie to studios very easily anymore. So let's get into this article, guys, from that Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Former Sweet Baby Inc. employee implies developers did not want to hire him after working for Kim Belair's company. Hashimoto was recently featured in an article written by Zachary Small, which, hey, we did talk about that. That was a New York Times damage control article that they wrote on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and they tried to use Hashimoto as a Japanese expert to totally prove that Yasuke was a samurai, wink, wink. You know what I mean? They used him, of all people, to try to prove that was their expert. And then it came out that he was an employee of Sweet Baby Inc. and people just laughed their ass off, myself included. It says in a recent Twitch stream discovered by YouTuber Smash JT, Hashimoto provided more details about the New York Times, saying a couple of months ago, the New York Times actually got in touch with me to ask me about Assassin's Creed, in which I was like, yeah, reception's honestly like kind of positive. And a lot of the comments you'd see under videos were like straight up like Google Translate comments, which is pretty obvious. And again, that's the gaslight that he's trying to go with, right? He's trying to make it seem as if everybody who was hating on the game was just white people using Google Translate to try to pretend to be Japanese. Again, that's such bullshit because, number one, the Japanese government got involved. Number two, Japanese YouTubers were all over the place making fun of this. What are you going to say? They faked their face? And then number three, if you read the actual comments, you'll realize that a lot of them didn't translate very well, like you were saying. They didn't translate very well because the sentence structure is different. So you can tell who's real Japanese and who's not. And a lot of the comments that I tried to translate were easily Japanese because, again, the sentence structure didn't make any sense. So then it says, however, he then noted how annoyed the Japanese people are with certain aspects of the game. And like people are like annoyed with some of the inconsistencies and issues with Shadows, which is like the buildings and stuff being wrong or certain clothing and whatnot, right? Or the fact that the art team basically stole a sign from a reenactment troupe in Japan. So he's admitting to everything we've ever accused Ubisoft of doing. He's essentially admitting it because he knows that this is the truth, right? Ubisoft can't hide from it. Ubisoft has to face it. They have to face everything. This is a fact. We know that they've done all this stuff. And that's actually like pretty common because when you're working with such a large team of artists, sometimes they're sort of given the direction to Google things and people make mistakes. There you go. The open admission. I'm loving this. My just call me Hypnodamus at this point because I literally tell you guys all the time that what they do is they just Google whatever Japanese anything. If they get told to find some flags, they're going to Google Japanese flags. And then they're going to take it to their manager and be like, hey, Bob, look, I have this. This is great. We could put this in the game. That's all they do. They just Google stuff. These are interns. These are like 18, 19, 20-year-old out of college kind of people. Bro, I'm telling you, oh my God, it's so obvious that they are just liars. That's really what it is, man. When they try to say, they have consultants, they have people to ensure that everything is accurate. No, they don't, man. All they do is Google stuff and hope for the best. That's really all they do. But I'm glad he admitted that. It's more like you're working with a team of people that speak multiple different languages, and whether or not they can communicate with each other is an issue. And that's just become part of game development. Later in the stream, though, Hashimoto claimed that he did not work on Assassin's Creed Shadows. He said, I can say that I didn't do any consultation work on Assassin's Creed Shadows. The stuff I did with Sweet Baby, I will probably never be able to talk about just because of the way the game development works. Oh, really? So yeah, it's really, really weird. I think it's really weird that you won't talk about it. I think it's very weird. You know, it's so interesting that a company that tries to pretend like it does nothing, a company that tries to say it has no power over anything, for some reason, nobody wants to talk about what the company does on the inside. Why is that? Why is that? If you guys supposedly don't do anything and you're just a narrative consultancy group, then why don't you want to talk about it? I mean, you should be able to talk about it unless you're under an NDA. And if you're under NDA, I find that to be very interesting. I have a feeling that I'm going to get blamed for changes and decisions made on a game that I worked on that weren't even that I didn't even know about or wasn't even aware of or even part of, he shared. Because when you're a consultant, they just kind of pull you in and they ask you for suggestions, and whether or not those suggestions are actually taken up is to the director. It's up to the director. People don't understand how much power director and producer have in a studio and whether or not they will facilitate those changes. No, people do understand. People do understand how much power director and producer has. I think that's gaslighting. I think you're underestimating what people understand and don't understand. But at the end of the day, my guy, you guys want to pretend like you can't do anything. You want to pretend like you have no power, zero power, nothing. But these people are hiring you. They're hiring you for consultancy. So surely they're going to listen to someone they pay for more than someone who's essentially might be free. Like they pay for your advice and they pay for your consultancy. So you can't sit there and pretend like you're unable to do anything when your changes are most likely going to be accepted one way or another because they paid for it, right? They actually paid for your services, which, again, I don't understand why they continue to do this. I feel like they're forced to, right? It's kind of like an extortion thing, but still, like, they pay for your services, so they're going to be more likely to want to listen to you. Still, later in the stream, Hashimoto revealed that developers did not want to hire him, given that he was a former Sweet Baby Inc. employee. He said, there are definitely jobs that I've had where people have seen the fact that I worked at Sweet Baby, and it's been a year since I worked with them, and it's just like a contractual basis when I was so just periodically for a couple of years. I can't stand the way this guy talks, by the way. People will literally be like, hey, are we going to get harassed for hiring you? Yes, that is amazing. That is amazing. Are we going to get harassed for hiring you? Holy shit. And I think that really sucks, he said, that instead of we'll protect our employee, the employer or the potential person giving you the contract will be more concerned about that than protecting their employees. Kind of fucked up. No, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. You want to know why? Because you guys harass people all the time. All right. You guys are out here on Twitter literally trying to get people canceled. So I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I'm glad that employers are looking at you with a raised eyebrow, wondering if they should hire you or not based off the fact that you work for Sweet Baby Inc., which is a known volatile company filled with racist ass people that try to cancel a gamer, which started Gamergate 2.0 to begin with. Yeah, I know. The mainstream media doesn't want to talk about that part, but your employee, Chris Kindred, over at Sweet Baby Inc., tried to cancel Cabrutus, and the Streisand effect took over, and you got wrecked, and you've been getting wrecked ever since. Your entire company, your racial grifting that you've been doing for the last 5 some odd years, however long you've been open, yeah, that shit is done. It's not going to be easily done anymore because you decided to go after a gamer for whatever reason you decided to do that. Interestingly, this appears to contradict Kim Blair's recent comments during an appearance on Black Girl Gamer's YouTube channel. Yeah, the one where she says she's not affected. The one where she said that the companies don't care and everybody's like, whatever. She said, I think annoying is a very good word for it because largely it doesn't materially affect our work. You sure about that? You sure about that? The vast majority of these companies already know what's going on and they still hire us. They know what we actually do, and it doesn't necessarily change our baseline survival, but it does change our comfort level, with which we can exist in online spaces. Yeah, I don't care about your comfort. I really don't, because you don't care about our comfort. Let's be real. So at the end of the day, man, this is a very obvious gaslight. They are hurting. Sweet Baby Inc. is 100% hurting, and it's only a matter of time before all of them start admitting that. And I can only imagine what's going to happen in the future as they try to find more work and companies start to walk away from these DEI consultancy firms. I can only imagine if Sweet Baby Inc. is going to stay around for a long time. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.